Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to all of you out there, dear astrology friends. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your time with me. And this video is going to be about the full moon in Leo. But first of all, I want to say something about the microphone. I know, it's not a good microphone. I know, but hang on, hang on. I'm working on it. Hopefully next week I'm gonna have the best of the best microphone. I mean, it's gonna be so pro. And if I'm getting it next week, I'm gonna sing as well. I'm gonna just sing one line, just that I'm so happy that I did it. You know, my other microphone went down, and I ordered a new one, and it was more expensive. I thought, it's better, but it isn't. So now I'm gonna do a pro microphone. It's time. It's time. Now, what has this to do with the Leo full moon? Well, a lot. A lot basically. After this video, you should know what this full moon is all about, what the energy is, what the ingredients are. And then for the 12 signs, I'm going to look at what area of your life you're going to have this full moon. This is my favorite full moon. It's my favorite of the whole year. And guess why? I'm being subjective here. You know, we astrologers, we can say we are never subjective, but of course we are. I mean, it's a Uranian full moon, and I'm a Uranian woman. So I know, I think that I have the privilege here, not the privilege, or how do you say that? I have the experience hands-on. And of course, doing charts every single day, you gain experience about what this energy is all about. And why is it my favorite energy? Well, first of all, it's Leo. So we're going to have around and about the 12th of February. Oh, my brother's birthday. Happy birthday, brother. He's never watching, but anyway, maybe in case. No, it's going to be an interesting year for him. Anyway, so this is going to be a full moon on the 12th of February at round and about the moon in Leo, round and about, you could say 24 degrees. By the way, you notice that I'm being a little bit stiff, right? And it is because I did something. I did some Kama Sutra that my back is hurting. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Um, anyway. Now, this is a very, every time of the year around February, we have a full moon in Leo, and every full moon in Leo is uh, uh, an energy of warm energy, heart chakra energy, loyal energy, the good old traits of the Leo. And let's tap into that energy. It's the energy of I am. It's the energy of, hey, I'm worth it to buy myself a beautiful, not camera, but a beautiful microphone, right? Isn't it time now? That's a Leo thing. You do things for yourself, you shine your identity, and you do it because you want to express it. You want to express yourself, you want to share love, joy. It is associated with the fifth house, which is the house of just let's enjoy ourselves. I mean, life is already so realistic. So let's have fun and let's do something that our hearts get warmed up. It's the house of love. It's the house of and the sign of romance and but of course it's also the sign of drama. It is a sign of the challenge of Leo is that they don't get a little bit too much like this is my channel and I say what I want on my channel. I exaggerate. And it's the poshy people, the people who have to show they're bigger than they are. That's the downside of Leo. And by the way, every sign has a downside, so Leo, don't feel offended, I hope, or people who've got planets in Leo. It's a bit drama, it's a bit narcissistic traits. I say traits because everyone has narcissistic traits, even the ones who claim to be not at all. Those are the worst. basically. But even doing a video and having, you must have a little bit of a Leo energy in you to be able to look into a camera and just talk to yourself, basically. I mean, that demands identity. And Leo, that is what it is all about. Leo is all about identity. Who are you? It's a very Leo thing. This is I am, right? To be or not to be. That's the question. This is all Leo energy. So I hope that we can all, I'm not going to say I hope. Let's get into that vibe of the Leo in a very positive way so that we enjoy life. And it's a fire sign. So, but as we know, so we're going to have the moon at 24 degrees of Leo and the sun will be at 24 degrees of Aquarius. So this is the balance between my own creativity, I am, and being a part of people who are like-minded, matching in with your own uniqueness in a community. And how do you do that? That's often people with an opposition between Leo and Aquarius. They have that challenge of between the me, I am, and between others, and how to fit in, but not too much, so that you don't lose your identity, and how to shine, but not too much that it becomes like poshiness, right? So that is a beautiful, but it's a very enjoyable time. So around that time, I hope you can all celebrate something and do something with your loved ones and enjoy some theater, some, doing something that you love to do. And also, it's a very childlike energy. So it's the child within us. It doesn't matter when we're 80. You know those people who are 80 years old and they still have those eyes like this and they still can act like a child when they do a little dance there. And it's that fire that I am referring to. We never lose it, but it's tapping into that energy. So but it's not an ordinary full moon. Of course not. Of course not. This full moon is squared up to Uranus. Oh, yes. Uranus is at like 23 degrees of Taurus. So it is forming what we call in astrology a T square. It's like this, a T square. A T squared. So that means that we're going to have the sun squaring Uranus and the moon squaring Uranus. So this is not just a moon in Leo. This is a Uranian moon in Leo. So the you could say the ingredient and the atmosphere shifts here tremendously with Uranus. It's a square, so it means tension. It means that, and of course we could say, oh, I don't like squares. Well, they are there when we kind of are, for instance, too much in a rut and doing same old, if we're not going to have those tensions of energy. What a square is reflecting. I say reflecting. These planets are not doing anything, by the way, to you. No, they are a reflection, a sort of a mirror of what's going on within you. So within, so without, as above, so below. So that's a big misunderstanding, but that's material for another video. That people have, that planets would do something with us. It's nothing further from the truth. But anyway, this Uranian energy, what is this all about? Well, a square to Uranus of the sun and the moon, of the two lights, you could say connected with Uranus, is huge. It's a huge message. And it's, as I said, it's tension, right? With the square, because when we don't have the tension, we are going to just stay and sit in the chair here, right? I'm just going to stay where I am, figuratively, and I'm not going to do any effort to change, right? Of course, every day we do change, but when we get those aspects like with Uranus, this indicates change. Changes, do you know David Bowie? Great song. Oh, David Bowie. Yeah. Anyway, So a song that my brother loves. But anyway, he's this Aquarian with Leo energy as well, right? So this is totally him. Anyway, now I hope he's watching. I think I might send it. But let's just let's just go back to Uranus, because that is a very important kind of thing. That what do we do with this energy yoke? So we know that there's a bit of tension. We need to show our identity, show who we are, try to fit in, but show our own creativity as well. Enjoy our lives, says Veerle. So we're going to do that, of course. And being all joyful around it, do our best to do that in the circumstances. It's a choice, right? But we have tension if we, and specifically tension in area of our lives where this moon is going to fall and where Uranus is going to fall. I'm going to mention 2 houses in a minute when I go through the signs, because it's important to know where Uranus is falling, where this electricity and want for change is sitting, and then this moon. So I say electricity because Uranus is associated with that. It's about sudden changes, and Uranus is a planet like, hey, this is a truth, this is honesty, this is so people who've got a strong Uranus in their chart, they're not going to mess around. They're going to say, this is what I want, this is, and they're going to go for it. And but with Uranus and the moon, let's focus on that, because it's the most important thing is moon square Uranus, right? It's also sun square Uranus, but let's focus first on the moon square Uranus. It's that enormous challenge between the moon, which is I want to connect. So I'm not going to talk about the signs now, but just moon Uranus. The moon is I want to connect. I want to have the connection. I want to belong to something, someone. Uranus is freedom. Freedom, and this combination, I've called it here, I want to break free, as in the song, I want to break free. It's that energy. And so it's a tension between I want to break free, I want to do my own thing. I want to break those chains that I have, that I feel. I want to break free from that. But hey, I'm risking connection. That's it in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell. Moon Uranus people like me, I have an opposition. They often are interested in astrology. I've seen it time and time again. But anyway, what the challenge is of a moon Uranus aspect, if you have an opposition in your chart, a conjunction, a square, the challenge is, and especially in a square, to timeshare those 2 energies, because like connection and individuality. Maybe you're saying, I'm going to stay here in this job that I hate, because otherwise my family is going to say, are you crazy? And I'm going to get disconnected to my family. Or you're saying, Uranus, I want to break free of this relationship. This is no longer me. I want my independence. But when I do that, I'll lose the connection. Or you're saying, like, I'm going to go to study astrology, or I'm going to study this or that. Maybe you're going to study medicine, dentistry, sales, marketing, whatever. You're going to study something. And your family, they kind of say, she's going to study. You come from a totally different background where everyone works with their hands, for instance, and then you're going to do a study. You see, so when you're going for the study, you fear of losing the connection with your family. So what to do? Well, it's to shift your mindset. Shift your mindset. It's doing both, and it is possible. I'm the living proof, and not only me, but many people that I have done the readings for with Moon Uranus. They are so fearful of losing connection, if they are their true self. I mean, the independence. And they think, oh, I have a moon Uranus, I will never fall in love, or I will never find someone like me. Look, I'm in a relationship of 27 years and I'm still doing okay. And it's still, a serious, deep commitment that I'm having. And I have moon opposite Uranus with Chiron there. So, what I'm trying to say here is, how do you do that? Well, finding people who are the same. I mean, and you guess what? And be okay with that aspect of yours. That when you are who you are, which is what Uranus wants you to be, it wants authenticity. It wants you to do what you want to do, but you have to believe it yourself first and foremost. And if you are going to believe it, not everyone, but the ones who are supposed to be in your life, they will stay in your life, right? And this is the dynamic that is so beautiful about Moon Uranus, because when you get it, when you say, this is about detachment as well. Oh, yes. I'll tell you a story. Tell you a little story about Moon Uranus, what this is all about, and which is very much often not understood in astrology. Moon Uranus is a lot about detachment. And it's a lot about healthiness of connection. So someone who's born with a moon Uranus has a bit of a DNA thing, you could say. And, it's a challenge to work on that. And what they will do. So I thought in my experience as a young woman, I thought, I'm never going to have a relationship. I mean, it's never going to work. I'm too much independent. And that comes from somewhere, of course. But I'm not a psychologist here, and I definitely don't want to talk about that. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm going for Uranus. I'm going for the independence. And if someone comes along, someone comes along. But I'm not going to be someone different, right? Because it doesn't work. I can do that maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3. But, if you want to be real, the mask will fall off. And so it's better just to be real. And the moment I decided, the acceptance of Uranus, I am who I am. And guess what happened? Exactly. That man came along that with the same aspect, in the same sign, by the way. The man that I'm with for 27 years. His name is Patrick. And he said, and we were doing both the attachment style. We are both avoidance, right? If you don't know a lot about it, really look it up. It's important for this moon Uranus. It's so important because it's all about this detachment, attachment, too much, too little. The anxious attachment style. If you choose for the moon, it's anxious and attachment style. But you lose Uranus, you lose your identity and independence. If you go for the avoidant type, which I was doing, you have the independence. Oh, yeah, but you don't have any connection. Which is sad, isn't it? It's a sad thing. It's deeper. Moon Uranus, it's harsher than Moon Saturn. It really is. It truly is. It's isolation if you just pick out for Uranus. So don't do that. Don't do the Uranus and think, oh, I have to, I have to choose. Don't do that. Don't do that. Say yeah, I'm going for my independence, and I'm sure that someone out there will be there as well that I can attract who's a bit the same. So I did, and I remember that Patrick, he was laughing that I was doing an action that was surely an avoidant trick that I wasn't aware of that, by the way. It was 27 or something. I wasn't aware of those things. I wish I was. But anyway, then I could not explain it as well, I think, if I haven't lived through it or understand it. And so I said, hey, but I'm the one who's mostly running. You're running as well. And we laughed with it. We laughed with our own incompetence energy, so to speak. And that's the beauty of this. Once you understand, you can work with it, you can shift it. And guess what? So what I'm trying to say is, yes, Uranus and the moon, even in a square, It's a challenge, but that's what it's supposed to be. It's a paradox. That's what it's supposed to be. And it's about win-win. Absolutely. It's all here. It's all here. So don't fall into the trap of reading astrology, moon, square Uranus, and oh, it's all bad. And blah, blah, blah. Hey, no, you're the captain of your ship. So decide that it's going to be a good thing. And I hope everyone is looking towards this intro. Now, is it going to be a challenge? Absolutely, absolutely. If you're watching this video and you're saying this energy, ooh, I'm scared and I'm going to sit in my rut and do everything business as usual, I have respect for that. Then it simply means you're not ready yet and you let pass that energy, right? It's a chance, but it doesn't mean that it's bad or good. It's an energy. It's like the sun is shining and I say to you, go outside. You will, you will enjoy the warmth of the sun. But if you just stay inside and watch Netflix all day, the sun will not care. Right? It's that what I'm saying to you here. Moon square Uranus, sun square Uranus. This is a time to break free of something that is not good for you. And you know it. This is not something like, oh, I have to ponder. You know it. It might be a relationship. It might be a project that you're doing. It might be a connection that is not healthy. It might be a job that is not the right job. This is the energy. It's still going to be a challenge, but this is the energy. It's going to help you. It's going to help you. That is the right weather forecast for making a U-turn, for making a shift, for making a drastic shift. But what does it demand? Exactly. Courage, courage and an understanding of your identity that you can deal with it. So I recommend people doing the big jumps, which is like, what is a big jump? Well, if I look at my own life, what was a big jump? Well, starting a relationship with Patrick was a big jump because there was a lot of fear involved. Absolutely. But I did it. And look, it's the best thing I've ever done. And the same with the astrology. I remember that I was having Uranus opposite the sun transit in my chart. So Uranus square the sun is also going for something, expressing yourself, who you truly are. But you know that that's going to have consequences. You will not be able to deal with people anymore that are not fitting, right? People who say, well, astrology. I remember that I had to cut off some people, but again, it's the right ones that you cut off. There's going to be better people crossing your way. You see, that's the mindset that I invite you to take. So if you're saying, oh, I'm in a job, it's not good, you prepare yourself for it. You're not going to be stupid if you have a house and you're having a house and you're having a mortgage and you're having a good job that pays the bills, and then you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to do the astrology. You're going to be clever enough and be secure that, hey, if that is not going to work out or if I'm going to have difficult days, I will do some cleaning and get money from that, or I do whatever. It's that attitude. I don't care. I detach myself. I don't care anymore. Caring less is sometimes a very positive thing. Don't get me wrong. Because people think, oh, care less. You're not going to care about your children. That's not what I'm talking about. It's about when you want something, like a job, the dream job, right? Let's focus on that, the dream career. Care less if it's not going to work out. And just do it anyways and see what's coming. And I can assure you it's big stuff. But are you going to feel uncomfortable? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But mostly with these energies, the feeling uncomfortable is before that. No, once you cut the cords and you go, off you go, don't look back. Just decide and don't look back. Detach. You know it. You know it deep in your soul that what you're cutting yourself off from, it has his purpose. It was good in the moment, But now off you go. So I remember when I did it with a bit of a shock, Uranian shock, cutting off the job that I was doing in the corporate world for doing the astrology. Everybody, again, I'm talking about this because it's such a beautiful Uranian example. It takes courage to do that. And especially when everyone is saying, what the hell are you doing? What the heck are you doing? Because most people, they're going to project their own fear onto you, right? So you have to feel already if you're feeling strong, if you're feeling that I know that is the best thing, do it. Do it. Do it. Because if you know that you feel strong enough, even when it's going to go difficult, I have my own back, or how do you say that? I'm the best supporter, right? I'm my own cheerleader. See it a bit like that, right? I knew that when I was choosing for the astrology and say goodbye to the corporate world, I knew that, hey, and I was in the midst. I would not recommend it to do it like I did. It was crazy. I mean, I was financially in the lowest point of my life. I was in full renovation with a young kid. Um, so, I mean, but luckily I was with someone who said, yeah, go for it. We can do it. We can do this. That helps as well. But it's the people that, again, if you choose for yourself, and if you, of course, in a way that is not harming others, you're going to attract the right people. You're going to attract the right people. So this is the best. The more I'm talking about it, the more my nose is running. I'm so sorry. But again, this is not about my looks or the nose that is running. This is about the content. And I hope that when you're watching this content, when you're still in this video, there's something that you want to shift as well. And I know if I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So if you want to, so is this an energy of breakups? Yeah. Is it an energy of breakthroughs? Yeah. Is it an energy of taking U-turns? Yeah. Is it an energy of the song I Want to Break Free? Absolutely. Break Out, you know that song? I think it's an 80s song. It's that kind of feeling. And you're gonna say, like I'm saying now, why did I wait so long to break free? But anyway, so it's independence is important. Be open for this innovation, detaching but in a healthy way that you feel secure within and that you can start something new. Have the courage to step into the unknown. This is quantum leaps, by the way. This is quantum leaps that people can take. And I hope many of you will do it. And guess what is the prize? The prize is the new thing. And the prize is that it's better. It's better than what it was before. Anyway, I'm going to start. And if you are in a rut, this is the time to set yourself free. Look, another note I wrote. Anyway, let's get to the 12 signs. And with the 12 signs, I'm going to do this very quick because this is not complicated, right? This is not complicating energy that I'm describing here. But I'm going to show you where that energy is. So for Aries, this moon is in your 5th house of self-expression, and Uranus is in the 2nd house of your self-worth, your money, your talents, your assets, so to speak. So there is like, express yourself. I can't put it in another way. Express yourself, and it's going to give you more confidence. That's it. It's going to give you more confidence. It's going to shake up your confidence in the beginning, probably. And because you think, ooh, what's it going to do here? Maybe you're going to do a project. I'll give you an example. You can do a project and you feel free now of doing this project, but it's going to cost you money, and you're going to do it anyways because you know that you can, one way or another, you can get the money. But it's like, probably with Uranus, it's with peaks and highs and lows. And you can deal with that. You're stable enough to do this. That's this energy. And you're in Aries. I mean, you're here to pioneer anyways. The fifth house is also children. So there could be a child who is revealing something, right? And it shakes up a bit your confidence there. But know that even if the child is 2 years old or 12 years old, it's getting their independence, right? So give it a bit of space. Of course, if they're under the age of 13, get boundaries there. That's not what I'm saying, but be a little bit more um, giving them space, basically, to also make some mistakes. Of course, again, be rational when I'm saying this. Taurians, this is super, super important. This is for you. You're one of the signs of the four fixed signs that is going to feel this the most, especially if you're having planets around 24 degrees of Taurus, because Uranus is in your sign, and this is happening in the core of your horoscope, which is the fourth house. There's something in your family, home, your emotions. There's a stirring up, right? There's something that is bothering you, and so because Uranus is in your sign, you're the one that is getting all like Uranian like, right? So people, and especially in Taurus, because Taurus people are very gentle and kind. It's what they're all about. It's ruled by Venus, but not now. With this Uranian energy, you can do and say things, and enough is enough. It's that kind of energy, and it can have to do with the home, literally. That you decide, I need a different home, or it is the people that you live with at home that are giving you this energy of, I'm done. I go for my independence, and everyone say, oh, what's going on with her, or what's going on with him, and it's about breaking free and daring to be who you are. Geminis, this is happening in your third house. This is a very social house. This is a very, if you have your own business, a very PR house, so to speak. And it squares up to Uranus in your 12th house, which is the unconscious. So from the unconscious, there's a restlessness. And it can show up in your speech. So all of a sudden you detach yourself from things that are no longer suiting you with people who are third house people, like siblings, neighbors. It's that energy of, look, this is how it is, right? This is how it is, and take it or leave it. Okay, I know my truth, and kind of energy like that. On another level, this is about you doing a trip that you always wanted, and there is some energy of being afraid of doing that trip, especially when it's far away, but doing it anyways, right? The 12th house is the house of faraway countries. The third house is short trips. So there could be something evolving around a trip that is a bit like shifting a lot within you. We often have that, don't we? When we go to a different country or a different state, and we encounter ourselves in a different way. So on another level, it's about speech. It's about information that comes in that you say or others say that is a bit disruptive, but it has the energy of breaking free. Cancerians, this moon is in your second house, the house of self-worth, the house of confidence, the house of your assets. And it squares up to Uranus in the 11th. So the frictive energy could come from 11th house stuff, the goals that you made for yourself, the friends or a friend group or a friend. And there's something disruptive there, and it touches your confidence. So it shakes up your confidence, but it's necessary to break free, to have some truths there. And that's very important. It can also mean that a friend is breaking free from something, or helps you to break free from yourself, whatever it is that you are not allowing yourself to be. Leos, this is, of course, the whole intro is for you. This is in your first house. And Uranus is squaring up in the 10th. So a lot of this Uranian energy can come from career, can come from work, can come from also your social status, your parents. So that can be like this, the career and me. That you could say time sharing energy that I was talking about. Express yourself for sure. And for a lot of you, it's a breaking free of from a career that is soulless. For sure, for sure. For most people, it shows here that that you long for a certain independence with Uranus in the 10th house. Anyways, this is a moment where you can do that. Virgos, this is happening in your 12th house, this full moon. So this is behind the scenes. It's the unconscious. And Uranus is in your 9th house. It's working with you, this Uranus, because it's in Taurus. It's a fellow earth sign. But whatever it is, it's about unconscious patterns. So Uranus is in the 9th. So this could mean a message from abroad, a message that you read in a book, a piece of information that comes in. It's like lightning. It's the 9th house is the higher mind. Again, you can call it God, you can call it Allah, you can call it Buddha, whatever you want to call it, but something that is bigger than us. It gives you a piece of information, and that piece of information shakes up your old patterns. So it's time for you to get rid of those old patterns, dear Virgo. It's really, really time. It's a good time to do so. And, let go and let God and have those new, innovative mindset. It's breaking you free for sure in the mind. Librans, this moon is in your 11th house, and it squares up to Uranus in your 8th. So this 11th house, this is a beautiful social full moon for you because, of course, Aquarius is trining your energy. Leo is sextiling your energy. Although there is a tension to your 8th house, this is pretty positive for you. And it's like something becomes clear in the area of a friend or a friend group, maybe a new friend group, or you're breaking free from an old friend group. Of course, the 8th house already has to do with death and rebirth. So this could be like, for instance, the friendship ends, but you shift into a more honest relationship here. So you're out of the friend zone, and maybe this is a romance, more intimacy. Uranus in the 8th. All of a sudden, this friend becomes a lover. That kind of thing. It's also goals for the future. You're going for that goal for the future. You're going for that goal that fits in your future, and that is a directive that is really from the heart, you could say. And you break through the barrier of fear because the 8th house is the trauma house. You break through to that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, Libra. Scorpios, you're one of those signs. It's very, very important because you're a fixed sign, right? You are forming here a full square with the T-square because we're having that T-square of Leo, where the moon is, to the sun in Aquarius, to the square to Uranus in Taurus, and that opposes you. So you are going to feel it the most of all the signs. So you are the one that Scorpios, they don't like transformations. It's not because they are the sign of the transformation. No, they are the kind of the people that I've been seeing a lot. They wait until the end to transform. But then all of a sudden they know. They know they have to let go. They have to shift. They have to transform. They have to break something down in order to build something up. So this is happening in your 10th house of career. For most of you, this will have to do with career. There's something there, the balance between the life-work balance. But Uranus is in the 7th. So what gives a little bit of this disruptive energy is probably another person. If you're in a relationship, but even if you're single, there could be shifts work here, shifts between key areas of your life. You could be changing everything here. Because of the relationship that is coming in, you say to yourself, okay, I'm breaking free now, but I have to break free from this job as well. Or I have to do this in a more a way that I can express myself. So what a beautiful energy for you, especially for the ones, the Scorpios who've got planets around 24 degrees, but it can be unsettling, but no, watch the introduction for sure. Um, please. And if you don't, you don't. But it's freeing up. It's your social status. So you're one of these energies that when it's too toxic, when it's done, you're done. When it comes to divorce, when it comes to I'm done with being single, I'm going to go for this new person and I shift my social status, right? Because I'm not single anymore. I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump because I know I'm powerful and strong and I'm my best cheerleader. It's that kind of energy. Sagittarians, this is beautiful because this is a fellow fire sign in the ninth house that you're going to have this beautiful moon. So this is about your mind, and it squares up to Uranus in the sixth. So if you are in the world of teaching and learning, or you're a publisher, or you're a writer, this could mean that with Uranus in the sixth, your daily life is shifting because, for instance, you're gonna do a website now in English instead of your own language, your native language, or you're gonna do a channel, a YouTube channel, instead of doing a vlog in your maybe you're French and you're doing the vlog in French, and now you're gonna do the vlog in English, so everyone understands it. There's like a bigger scale here. So if you are working in the teaching or the sales industry, the knowledge industry, the travel industry, if you work with people from abroad, this could be a broadening up. If you're a YouTuber, for instance, this could mean scaling up. Uranus in the sixth house, or there happens something in your day-to-day life that kind of is a bit unsettling, but it prompts you towards expansion, towards that moon there. Maybe travel, maybe you're going to travel for work and it's you feel a bit unsettled there. It's definitely growth in knowledge, growth in consciousness. It's breaking free because you have that knowledge. It can also mean when you're a student, for instance, there's something around that time happening. I don't know how it is in other countries, but here in Belgium, if you do higher studies like university and whatnot, that is the date, the 12th of February, that a lot of people will know what they did the last semester, right? They're going to get their grades, and this can mean like it's not what you expected, but go for it. This is an opening up. This is see it bigger. Maybe they're gonna, for instance, a student could work with Erasmus. Erasmus is where you can travel. You can do the same study. Let's say you study languages here in Belgium, and for 6 months or 3 months, you can study in Barcelona, in Spain, or maybe in Rome. Why not? And do those studies. And that's this expansion. It's a bit restless because, Uranus in the sixth house, your day-to-day life is going to be a bit, I don't know what's coming. I don't know. Where do I have to do groceries in that country? How do I do this and how do I do that? But that's the expansion. Beautiful. Capricorn, this is happening in your eighth house, this full moon. This is a transformational period, and it squares up to your fifth house where Uranus is. So, lots of things here. With Uranus, where Uranus is, it causes a bit the friction. So you could fall in love, for instance, and that gives you an open door for intimacy. And that is like, and Leo, romance. But it's a bit fearful because hey, you are showing vulnerability here. It's sexuality, but it's more than that. It's the eighth house, which is sex and body, mind, and soul. So it's being vulnerable with a person and showing who you are and risking that you're going to get hurt, but doing it anyway, because otherwise you could not receive the love. Things like that can happen for you. On another level, this could mean because of your child is being a bit rebellious, that triggers you in a way. But you shift, you kind of transform, you know how to give your child a bit more space. Uranus in the 5th house. Of course, when they're under 13, keep the boundaries, healthy boundaries, but let them do the things that give them the space to learn, basically. That's what I'm trying to say here. On another level, this is about self-expression. And when you're doing that, that self-expression, this is very important for your psychological growth, your deeper understanding, there might be an understanding on almost an occult level. The 8th house is the occult, it's the metaphysical side of life, and you might understand more about that. And that gives you like this fresh independence that you want to do what you want to do. It's very exciting energy. Again, for your love life, whether you're single or not, it can have this oomph, this more excitement. So use the fear to turn it around into excitement, because it's the same energy, but with a different mindset. The one is negative and the other, fear is negative and excitement is positive. Aquarians, this is of course about you. This is a lot about, watch the introduction if you haven't done already. But this is about your relationships. Whether you are in one or not. If you're single, it's your attitude around relationships. There can be someone, if you're single, there can be someone in your midst, and it's really stirring your emotional, you could say, you're emotionally triggered by it. Or you're emotionally triggered, and a relationship can be shifting because of that as well. There's something here that can cause a little bit of drama here, but again, don't fall for that. Don't step into that. It's not about, watch the intro about choosing for the moon or choosing for Uranus. Choose for both. Choose for the connection and choose for the authenticity. Because there can be someone in your midst that's showing really who they are, and it can make you very much restless emotionally. But know that what needs to go, and it's for your own good. And one door closed is 10 others open. It's really that energy, right? So if you're in a bad relationship and you know it's bad, and you've done everything you could, and you know that this is not healthy for you nor for them, this could mean a breakup. But again, that's only a small percentage of you. Don't panic now if you're having the best relationship ever, because this is happening to people mostly around 24 degrees of Aquarius, if you have planets there. And still, you have to see your whole horoscope. But it has that flavor of, I want to break free. And, it's about authenticity that another person might show to you. Like they're going to show you your truth. And it's very unsettling. But know that this will pass too. Don't fight with the unsettled energy. Just sit with the unsettled energy, and it will go away. And it will become a better place for you, because things are going to be more real. That's the result. Things are going to, and especially your relationships. Pisceans, last but not least, this is happening in your 6th house, this full moon, and it squares up to Uranus in the 3rd. So that might be a bit unsettling around your communications. Maybe you or other people have said something. Uranus in the 3rd, they have, they just speak out and they don't think. And that is unsettling for your 6th house, which is work, which is your day-to-day life. But know that this might have been buried for a long time, and know that there's a good side in the truth. And accepting this unsettling feeling can help you very much. This new perspective, because the 3rd house where Uranus is, it's showing a freshness in perspective, a more thinking out of the box, a more like Uranian kind of mindset in your logical day-to-day life. And so that can make this things that show up in your work life, in your day-to-day life, in your health as well. It can mean like, oh, this is a certain thing that you understand now, and you're going to shift something with your health, right? So let's say, for instance, you have a health problem and a Uranian idea that's totally alternative, that's totally different, is going to give you the key to unlock this, right? Again, when I'm talking about health, always, always do the classical side of life, which is Saturn, and the Uranian side of life, which is, the classical side. You go to the doctor if you need to, and the doctor that you trust. But you also do the alternative, which is working on the deeper level than the physical, because a doctor only works on the physical, right? But also work on the deeper levels, the mental, the emotional, and whatnot. It can mean a breakthrough in that area as well for you Pisces. On another level, it can mean a short trip. Uranus in the third is a bit unsettling. And it shakes up your day-to-day life. But anyway, it was necessary. It can have to do with siblings. It can have to do with people around you, that there is a shift there. There is new information coming up, and that kind of shifts how you are how you do your lifestyle, right? So, that was a long video. Oh my goodness, it was. I hope this was helpful for you. And I wish you all the best with this full moon, this unbelievably beautiful Uranian moon. Go for it. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.